What's up, Capstone family? This is Ed Drummond coming at you on this Friday, the 26th of November. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope this year I'm getting some family together. We're having a smaller outing than we typically do. We always host. Rachel loves hosting, and it's so much fun, and the kids love it, and everything's getting done this week, and it's amazing. I hope you are enjoying it as well. And so, a couple things I wanted to bring up today. This week, we put a few more on the market for sale. Keep in mind, we're going to do our best to get our clients the most that we can, and because of all the different ways that people are selling properties right now, and different options and all kinds of institutional buyers or retail or putting money into it or not, each person's situation is almost entirely unique. And I want to make sure that when we initially start talking about potentially selling your property or whatever that might be, there are options, and some of these options are going to be better for you than others. This week we actually put 2 more under contract through institutional buyers. And when I say institutional buyers, this is the what you'd expect, like the Redfins, or like how Zillow stopped buying them. They were an institutional buyer. All these companies, there's about 6 of them that we have relationships with. And where these relationships help you the most is that if we represent you in taking your property to those companies, oftentimes they'll give us more incentive for doing so. They're trying to build an army of foot soldiers of realtors that are providing them this information, and they'll pay us extra. So what does that mean for you? That means that you're going to get more money from these companies. We charge pretty much, what our percentage is going to be when we're going to list it on that end, which is a rebated commission. And if they're giving us extra money, that's going straight back to you. So, the most important piece of that is that we have to have the relationship and the contact with them first. Similar to when you're going to a new build, the builders don't want to pay out, if it looks like you walked in on your own. So this is something, an additional kind of a piece of leverage that we're able to use with these guys, and it works. They're still paying over what we'd expect on a lot of these properties that we're selling to them. Usually the ones that we're selling to the institutional buyers are really the ones that we can't retail, that retail doesn't make the most sense. I will give you a situation, though, that we did put one on the market last week. It was little overpriced, right? You know how we're doing it in this market right now, but it was at that price point between the 300,000 to 400,000 range that everyone is looking for, including a lot of investors. And this one in particular, we are selling it to another investor, and that investor is in their own right and working with an institutional buyer and building out this portfolio of thousands of homes here in the Valley, and they're overpaying for them. They're paying more than what anybody else would. This was another situation. If you remember my videos, like a few months ago, I sold one in El Mirage, and that one, we felt that the institutional buyer came in and just really overpaid for it. This is another one of those situations where it was like, oh wow, like this offer is just significantly higher than what I thought we would get for the place. So of course, the seller is happy, but it's one of those situations where you're like, really, they're paying that much for it? Hey, if the numbers make sense, right? And these guys have deeper pockets than you or I, so it's like, cool, let's see what happens and let them figure it out. With that, I was able to meet the inspector that they had out at the property yesterday, and he told me about their budgeting and what they budget for each of these properties above and beyond, what they're putting into it and paying for them. And it's amazing. Like, I don't see how the numbers would make sense because we want better returns than what they'd be getting. But I think they see this long ball, this play in Arizona for real estate in the future. Again, getting back to what we've been talking about for weeks, how the future of real estate in Arizona looks so promising. And this is just another one of those, supporting pieces of evidence that give us the impression that this real estate market is going nowhere. but up for a while. So, good to see. This market is jamming. Again, if you've got something that's going to be going on the market for sale, let us connect with you early on in that process to come up with options. We've got another one that we're working on right now where we are going to have we're structuring it so the tenant can buy it, where everybody wins, right? And I think in those situations, owner doesn't have to put a bunch of money into the property to sell it, which is a good thing. Especially in this market, finding people to do the work, it's been brutal. If you have been working with us on any turns lately, it's been absolutely painful. Our vendors are amazing, and they're getting just hammered right now. So keep that in mind. When somebody challenges you with, hey, we could start flipping houses or doing this, make sure you got that part in line, because it is not the same game as it was even a year ago. As well as the financing side. If you're looking for financing, let me tell you, we're seeing a lot of deals fall out of escrow right now for silly reasons. But the reason that I see it is the lenders aren't having the hardest of conversations with their clients, and the clients are kind of dictating what they're going to be giving them. Or, I'll get you that paperwork when it's time. And they're not doing all of that, on the front end to really ensure that the deal is going to be solid. That's why we stick with the lenders that we have, because we know they're going to pre-qual, not just pre-qualify people on the front end, but pre-underwrite them. Send them to the underwriter and find out where the holes are in the financing before we get to the space where it makes it hard to lose that person, right? Cool. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Thanks for watching. I know I can kind of get long-winded sometimes, but I think in this market, we're not seeing anything downturning yet. Things are slowing down a little bit on the rental side, but over the last week they picked up again, which was interesting. It being a holiday week, you'd expect it to be super slow, but it wasn't. And everybody's just off to the races. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching.